Hey, beautiful people, it's Rickita. I'm back with another video. So in this video, I want to show you this huge trap that you can get in with Visa and Mastercard. And I'm so happy I learned this trap because a lot of people don't understand that if you get into this trap with Visa and Mastercard, then not only are you going to have very, very low scores, but you're going to be paying so much money per month. You're going to pay so much money. So that's why I want you guys to learn this and avoid this trap. And if you learn this, then you'll be like me. You won't pay interest on credit cards, and you'll know how to balance what is basically your utilization. So if you guys ever have problems with your utilization, if you guys don't know how to fully track your credit cards, I'm going to show you a method that you can use now. And you can always add more to this method, but let me show you what you can do to avoid that trap from Visa or MasterCard. So when it comes down to your credit cards, I you guys need to know like how much to pay, how much to spend, the utilization. But let's read this comment first because I want to make sure I really answer their question about it because they're the reason why I thought to make this video. They said, this video has so much information. Thank you so much. They said they got approved for that Capital One Platinum Secure credit card, which is $49 down, and saying they just waiting to receive it in the mail. They had no idea how beneficial it would be to utilize a lower monthly financial report of $10 rather than afford $200 and pay it back monthly. I had it set in my mind that they would pay. They had to set in their mind they'll pay the full limit every month, and then pay it back on time because they thought it'd be so much. It'll basically show that they're very responsible. So definitely, they saying, "Hey, you gave me a huge tip to spend only $10 a month, and I'm going to just do that. Thank you." Now I struggle to get through all of that because I want to get straight to the video. I really don't want this video to be too long, and I know I'm going to talk too much with this utilization thing. Now, when I say only spend, say if they got approved for a $200 credit card. When I say, let's actually plug it in. So, and then I'll talk in between. So this is something called my utilization sheet. This is what I use for my credit cards. What I do, let's put their information in. They got a Capital One credit card. Let's say their balance is $10. Their limit is $200. It fills in everything that we need to know. And if you want to go the extra mile, I don't have the due date, but you can put due every fourth or whatever you want to put on there. And that's only if you want to keep up with the due date, because I don't have a section for your due date. Or if it's like 0% APR, you can put 0% APR ends July 27th, 2024. Whatever you want to put next to this, you can. But the name of the credit card is Capital One. Yeah, let's just keep it at Cap One. Let's actually just put Cap One because it's gonna bother me. So Cap One. So the reason why I tell people to spend only $10 on a $200 credit card is because their current percentage of utilization is 5%. That's what I want it to be every month, and when it reports to the credit bureau, I want it to be 5%. I had did a presentation. You guys can find it if you go to my website, Rickita.com. And if you was to download this, you'll see a full, I already give you a presentation on how to quickly increase your credit score. Okay. But when I did that presentation, I told you guys it's best to keep your utilization at 5% or below. Now, some people say, you know what? I'll keep it at 30%. Now, 30% means it is going to be $60. And I just know that just knowing math, but you can see the current percentage of your utilization is 30. Okay. Now, if you want to pay it down to, hey, I want it to be at 5%, then you have to bring your balance down to $10. If you want it to be at 10%, you got to bring it down to $20. If you want at 30, we at 60. If you want at 50, it's at $100. Now let's fill in this and let me talk to you guys a little bit more. So I never want to pay interest on any of my credit cards. I don't want to pay it. Okay. So when you don't want to pay interest on any of your credit cards, what you want to do is pay your statement balance by the due date, okay? You want to pay your statement balance by the due date. Let's put a discover in here. Statement balance by the due date. I don't care what the minimum payment is. Check out my other videos when I pay like my Apple credit card every month. I think I didn't record this month when I had to pay it, but it was a huge balance and I paid. I think I didn't want to show like how much I had to pay because how much I used on that card. But you want to make sure you pay your statement balance by your due date, not the minimum, no other thing. You want to pay your statement balance by the due date. And if you guys do that, then you'll never pay any interest on your credit cards. Now, when you guys look at your credit score on Credit Karma, you will see a special place that will have a percentage for utilization. You can go there and check, but I like to manipulate it and play with it just like this on my own. Okay, so let's act like this is somebody's credit card and this is how they started off. Okay, so right now their current percentage, your current overall utilization is 40%. Their credit score is going to be so much lower than what it would be if it was at 5%. Okay, but sometimes you can do certain things just to pay down, some of your credit cards. Somebody may say, well, I owe a $3,000 balance on my Navy Federal. Okay, I owe a $3,000 balance on my Navy Federal. So I'll go ahead and pay that one down by $1,000. Some people will say that, but you have to think about your overall percent. I mean, not just over your overall percentage. You got to think about what the individual one is too, because that's something new in our FICO where they want to know what our current percentages are. So what I would do, and they have this situation, if you plug all your numbers in, you know what your balance is, what your limit is, you put all your due dates and all this stuff in here. And if this thing, I would say if it's over 10%, like you need to bring it down. Only way I'll be okay with this being over 10% is if you guys have 0% APR credit cards where you holding a balance on them, or you just let it report to the credit bureau. You paid your statement balance. You don't care what your credit score is. That's the only time. But if you care what your credit score is, you need to have this under 10%. But best is to have this under 5%. So let me show you what we can do to at least bring this down under 30%. Because no matter what in your life, period, okay, if you care about your credit score, you should never let this be over 30, period. We want to have it under the 10%, under the 5%, all that good stuff. But no matter what, it's like you can never have a late payment. It's like you can never have this utilization over 30%. Anything over 30% is going, or 30% or more is going to drop your credit score, period. Okay. So what I want to do to get this, I would say I want to get this under 30%. What I'll do is I'll make sure all of my individual cards are under 30%. So I know that for this one, my balance is $3,400 basically. And to get it to 30% or lower, I got to pay at least $3,000. Uh-oh. Okay, I guess that don't work like that. Okay, I gotta pay at least I gotta bring the balance down to 3,000. I don't have to pay at least 3,000. So what you'll do is you'll subtract this. Okay, so we know it's $478 extra, but I'll just pay $500 more so that I can get this. So I can just get almost a 29. I want to be under the 30%, period, on any credit card. So I like to just pay whatever that little extra amount is. The extra amount was an extra $22 basically, which we're going to take away from this 3,000. So let's actually act like we paid $500. So that means that new balance is what? 78. It got to be 78. If we pay 5, right? Yep. So there we go. Now our utilization is at 29%. And look, we went from 40 to 35 already. And we only paid $500 on this one. So we're going in the right direction. Now this one is under 30. Now I suggest, you put 500 on there. Try to see if you can put 500 on here. Or you probably should just see where that 30% is at. It's at 300. So in reality, we want to pay more than that 500. We want to bring this one down because we want it under 30%. We want to make sure that we pay, I would say pay if we're going to bring this one down, we need to have it down to 300. Let's just pay the 700. So if we pay 700, then our new balance is 250. And look, our utilization is now under 29% overall. And then with our individual cards, just paying a minimum on this Capital One is gonna naturally bring that down. Let's act like the minimum was, let's just bring it down to 30. Let's act like it was just $25 or something like that. So you can see your overall utilization is under 29%. Now, I tell you guys all the time, the best is to make sure that your actual utilization is at 5% or below. So keep going in here and playing with these numbers. Say, okay, you know, with a $200 limit, I need to bring it down to $10. You know, every month, if you over 50%, try to go to 75%. Try to go to 50, then go to 30, then go to 10. You know, every month adding more and more and more, and just focus on bringing down those credit cards. Just focus on honestly paying your statement balance by your due date, because sometimes if you're holding a balance like this, that's because you're not paying your statement balance by your due date. So focus on paying your statement balance by your due date, and you should not have much of these problems. Now, I am going to try to put this down below so you guys can work on your utilization, and you guys will never pay any interest on any credit card. Again, if you pay your statement balance by your due date, don't let Visa and Mastercard trick you. And if you guys have any questions, definitely let me know. I'll have this down below if you guys want to purchase it. Bye-bye.